My name is Simon,
My name is Paul.
and we are Reed University, Thailand, and we came up with this concept about like 4 months ago. I would say that was our first ideation of this community slash business, and we saw the legalization happening in Thailand, and of course we're two weed enthusiasts in our group of friends, and then we decide to do something that is related to like cannabis consumption and usage. And we see a lot of misconception and miscommunication slash understanding going on in Thailand. It's very beginning point of the legalization. We saw a lot of the news that doesn't really make sense, and we saw a lot of people have a bad misconception and bad what do you call it? They take it really negatively about cannabis and everything and the business structure itself. So we wanted to change that. We wanted to educate people about how to properly use cannabis product, how to safely use, what kind of group of people cannot use the cannabis. It's not really recommended to the group of pregnant women or the people who are under 20 years old. It can affect the brain growth. Yeah. So we wanted to create a safer environment, and also at the same time, since that's pretty community based, we on the side we wanted to create some bubble hash products for Thai market. And that's what we're doing currently.
And that's amazing. I was going to say, it's been really cool to see people finally doing some bubble hash over there. And I remember when you first made the Weed University account, and I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. And like, ever since, you've probably been like, both of you guys have been like some of the biggest supporters. So I really appreciate both what you both do and like, again, following the podcast.
Thank you.
So I guess one big question I ask a lot of our interviews, I guess you could say, is like, what was your original or like first experience with cannabis?
You wanna start first? I'll go ahead and start. Okay. Well, I have quite a history with cannabis. I grew up in the U.S. since when I was really young, like 11, 12 or something like that. And then I went to this boarding school. It was the Air Force Academy, and there are all these white kids there. Some of them were troublemakers. You know, their parents like kind of like gave up on them and then sent them to the boarding school and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I was the only Asian kid, especially the Korean kid there. And then I hung out with a bunch of the cool people. Some of them were musicians, some of them were sports player, and then they all gather around behind the dumpster at our school, and then they're trying to do something over there. So I was kindly checking it out, and then I saw them like lighting some cigarette looking stuff, and they were like, "Oh, what's that? Let me get that." And I had no idea what weed was about back then because I was only like 12, 13 at most. And then I grabbed it, and then I've had an experience of smoking my father's cigarette from his pocket, snake it out one or two.
Yeah.
And I tried it, so I thought it's not going to be so hard, and I inhaled it, of course, and then boom, my eyes got expanded, and I remember still nowadays that I was a drummer. I was a drum in the air, like crazy. It was so fun, like just waving shaking my head. Yeah, I was just like, and the people were like, "Oh, this guy's high." I'm like, whoa! For 11 years of my life, I've never witnessed something like this. So that's how it all started, and then I try all this old school sketchy smoking method. How to smoke like middle school students. It all began from there. Yeah.
So you kind of blew your little brain a little bit.
It did. It was an awakening moment for sure. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And Born?
Yeah, I was. I think I started from eating edibles, the kind of brownie back then in Thailand 7 years ago. They're nothing good for consume, at that time. Only like brownies and underground.
That's the only thing you can get, right?
Yeah. I started at eating edible first, and then I have a group of people, my friend. They just, you want to share the one joint of Thai weed that
The brick weed.
The brick weed quality is not. So at time we grew up and we shared that joint, only one joint, 5 people, 6 people.
It still got you high.
Yeah, that the first time that I got high from weed, and then back to during the COVID, I had nothing to do that much. We mostly quarantine at the house and the resident.
No better thing to do.
No, no better things to do. That's the starting point that I usually use that a joint daily, maybe before my bedtime.
Okay, so you started with one joint, and how many do you smoke per day nowadays?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, my story was short like that.
Cool. It is cool to kind of hear the contrast of stories of one at a military base to having to be underground. It's very interesting that the two of you have, and honestly, very different backgrounds.
Yes, definitely.
And I think that's one.
At that time, so against some rules, some.
You carry on.
Yeah, I'm at that time.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. At that time, against some rule or regulation here is challenging.
Was this strict?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't here
Very
when the regulation was super strict.
Yeah.
So you go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Same situation in Korea, I would say, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time coming to Thailand and just the regulations were pretty much the farang rumors were, oh, if you get caught smoking, you're going to go get executed in jail. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll ignore that for a while.
Execution was an option?
I mean, I think it was more just a scare thing for us farang.
Oh, they're just scaring all the farang off. Yeah. Don't come to our country with all your crazy weed stuff, and but who would have known they legalized it?
Yeah, in contrast to places I've been to Singapore, if I got caught there, then that's definitely a death sentence. It's kind of crazy knowing a country that is not even that far away from Thailand has such drastically different approaches.
Oh yeah, I think you're trying to talk about Singapore case now.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, the Singapore situation is very cruel, I'd like to say, but yeah.
It was disturbing.
Yeah, especially when you read, especially the latest case, the full story of just a guy that possibly wasn't even around cannabis just got murdered by the government in a sense.
Exactly. They just ended one life over couple grams of weed. I'm sure it's not just couple grams of weed,
1.5.
but 1.5 kilogram. That's what. Oh, that's a lot of weed. No,
I saw in the news.
I'm not laughing. I try not to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of weed,
that's very crazy.
But still a very drastic measure for a lot of weed.
Yeah, exactly. That's amount of weed that a boar can smoke in a day. 1.5.
No.
I feel like we're gonna have to put this to the test one day. You need a Weed University first research segment. How much can you guys smoke in a day?
How much can you smoke till you get OD on weed?
I was talking to...
I don't think the study will end at all.
Yeah, I was talking to a past guest about this the other day, and it's something stupid you have to smoke I don't know, 3 kilograms of weed within 5 minutes and have it in an IUV drip of pure THC. So it's literally impossible. It's literally impossible. I mean, you can try it, but it's not going to work. You're just going to have a big nap.
There is a case in Japan. Some dude drank. I'm not sure about the exact measurement, but 6 or 8 liters of water in order to win the Nintendo Wii. There was a competition, and this guy who won the competition, he eventually got the weed and Nintendo Wii, not weed, Wii in his hand. But he ended up going to the hospital, and then he died overdosing on water. Because if there's anything, there's too much of it coming into your body, even if it's just water, tap water, it can kill you. And a lot of people are afraid about the fact that you get overdosed with weed and you're gonna end up in the ER and you can end up dying from weed. But there are not many things that cannot kill you from consuming so much of it. So that was my opinion.
No, 100% agree. It's something I use a lot in I guess in debate of people that are against cannabis, especially when there's so much other things that you can easily kill yourself with. And then people they harp on about this negative health related things for cannabis. And I think it's more paranoia than anything.
Absolutely.
So I guess another question I have for you guys, I guess then is like, what's been some of the highlights for you? I mean, you both come from like different backgrounds in cannabis, but like Thailand has kind of become a bit of the cannabis mecca in my sense. It's a bit of a holy land for cannabis, but like, so what's been some of the highlights for you guys so far? I know you've been to a lot of the different events, seen a lot of different shops open, stuff like that.
Okay, absolutely. As you just mentioned, Thailand is the center of the cannabis industry in Asia. Not only Asia, but worldwide. I guess it has the least regulation in a good way, I would say. And we have a lot of technology and developments going on in Thailand. And you just mentioned about the bubble hash and all this concentrates and stuff. There are some of the first movers already out there in Thailand who's trying to achieve to provide a good quality of concentrates, the THC concentrates / other subproducts and byproducts from the cannabis. And I think one of the most interesting the trend and the movement nowadays worldwide is people are starting to switch over to one of the THC vape pods or one of those disposable vape pods instead of consuming from a flower itself. We happen to find this trend happening in the U.S. A lot of the younger folks nowadays, they really don't like the concept of burning stuff and inhaling that smoke coming from that burnt material. So I guess like those the cannabis industry and those concentration industries are very active in the U.S. because that's what the customers are demanding. And in Thailand, we see it's not quite there yet because all the regulation needs to support it, and at the same time it takes a lot of knowledge and a skill set to create a better product that can be compared to one of those the Western products in Thailand as well. So I think one of the most interesting movement that's happening in Thailand right now is that those first movers and smaller companies, they try to create the high quality cannabis concentrates using the domestic strain, domestic cannabis in Thailand. Yeah. And then that's exactly what we want to do. And, the pie is still very big. So whoever's starting, first, we still have plenty of time and, the target, consumer to share this big pie is still a blue ocean. And I think we believe that is very, positive, this industry itself.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, and it's really an incredible industry overall because the amount of my friends that have been able to not only like create a brand or create something from it, like the amount of friends and networking they've made and the amount of knowledge that's been like shared around has been really cool. It's kind of been, I've said to a lot of people, it's kind of been like seeing the early California days again in like a modern lens, A lot of people kind of reminisce about these old eras like the 60s, early California, recreational, medical, and then it's all kind of just happening now in a country that is so, in my opinion, perfect for it, that it's been amazing just to see everything grow. Like, I don't know anyone that's like my friend anyway that's upset or sad. Like, everyone is happy and excited about what's going on.
Right. So it's, as you just mentioned, following exactly what the other country had to go through, I would say. That's why it's an easier example. We have so many successful cases that we can successfully adapt and try to execute it in Thailand. So I think if the good supporting from the government and good regulation forms, and once we get that safe environment ready and go, then I think we'll have so much of the potential for the cannabis user, and we can approach it in a very safe manner as well. We can educate them.
Most definitely. And again, that's another one of the exciting things is we get to see it all happen in real time. Again, I do hope the government I've got no paranoia thinking they're going to completely overturn things. But again, I think a little bit of regulation so people can work out what they can and can't do, would kind of benefit a little bit. So I've got my fingers crossed for things to continue going as amazing as they are. So as well as this is like, I mean, I've seen that you've been to a load of the openings and stuff. As no Siam Green opened yesterday, but like, what's been some of your favorite events and openings and stuff like that?
Yes. So first, after we established this little community, our main focus was to review all those the cannabis related business, not necessarily the dispensaries, but all the cannabis related businesses such as the farmers and the sellers, the wholesalers, the broker in between, and also all those great cannabis stores, dispensary. Of course, we review them, and then we try to read the scene first by reviewing those places. And so far, they're all amazing. But one of our most favorite place among all, I would say, then we can definitely say it's Tropicana. Yeah, it's little the co-working space. They don't really call themselves a cannabis store nor the dispensary, but they call themselves the dispensary with co-working space. And then they pretty much support all the small startups and companies like us to have a proper place to share the insight with other cannabis related the business people, and also we get to try their weed for a very reasonable price because they're also the suppliers of their own store. And then very welcoming, very friendly vibe, family kind of vibe. So that's our go-to spot that whenever we have something to discuss, we just meet up there and we just say hi to everyone and have a little sesh. And if there's any like surprise encounter, then we enjoy it as it is. So that is one of our go-to spots. But at the same time, yesterday, we've been to Siam Green's grand opening, and that was something else than we were familiar of. The amount of the money that they invested, and the location, and all those the event they're throwing, how they executed, how they planned things. It just went really, really well, and we could notice right there that this wasn't done by just one or two people. This was done by a big group of people with heavy supporting in the back. So that's why they could be able to pull it off. And then we saw it, we were very amazed. And then now we have, it kind of helped us open up the broader point of view in terms of the cannabis industry. There are a lot of serious players joining this team nowadays. That's what we felt. And then, we say it in a very positive way as well by seeing those.
Yeah, when I saw all the videos and live streams of Siam Green, I have to admit, I was sat here having massive FOMO. I just was like, God damn it, why can't I be back over already? Because that kind of place to me, it reminded me of like some high-end dispensary you'd see in Las Vegas that's had like hours put into design and so much. Like, shout out to the Cannabis guys and everyone, because it's been amazing to see something so...
Big shout out.
Like, it's...
Shout out Tank. Shout out everyone. Hello.
They're such amazing people. Like, you guys are doing... Again, and you too. Like, all of you are doing so much incredible stuff. And like, I'm sat here in England just being like, God damn it. I'm just, I need to be back. It's so incredible.
I can see your frustration, yeah.
And like, it's so cool to see the amount of different kind of dispensaries as well. Like Tropicana, I love the kind of co-working space vibe. That's what I love as well. As like, there's a lot of dispensaries that kind of incorporating this community aspect. Like with the podcast, I've had like 2-3 dispensaries now say, oh, we're building a studio if you ever want to come down and record. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like, it's amazing that people are also branching off into the creativity side of not just, oh, this is a dispensary, you come in, blah, 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 blah. It's a full-on experience, and it's something I've had to kind of explain to a lot of people coming over to Thailand who are tourists and stuff, because a lot of the kind of misconception is like, it's just a place you go to buy weed. You just go in, you go out, but it's not. Like, when I went to Sukhum Weed especially, and went to Fat Buds, it was a whole experience. Like, you get to meet the people who actually grow weed, instead of it just being a complete commercial thing. It's a real experience.
Yeah, we really gotta visit that one. Shout out to Fat Buds as well.
Definitely recommend visiting Fat Buds. Like, everyone there is incredible, and it's got such a weird in a good way, unique design. Like, it's kind of, there's a lot of nostalgia there. I got kind of obsessed just staring at the walls of Fat Buds.
I can see. Yeah, Fat Bud is, I don't know why we haven't visited Fat Buds. Everybody has been telling us to visit Fat Buds, and everybody has been giving us the very good, reviews on Fat Buds. And then we've been talking on, Instagram and stuff with Fat Buds, but we just never found a chance and time to get there.
I think we can put that part in our plan this week.
Let's just put it on top of our list for visitation.
For sure.
Yeah, because we really cannot hold on to it anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But Fat Buds, we heard a lot,
I said, I don't blame you putting it on top of your list. Just say I sent you, and you'll be treated like kings and queens. Don't worry.
Absolutely, yeah, and then actually it's not only you, but so many people telling us like, yeah, just say like John sent you here, just say like James sent you here. I'm like, wow, really? You guys, they have a really serious fan base going on there, Like, I've never seen the dispensary that has a lot of fans. People keep telling us to go and review and stuff. Yeah, but we definitely will. But there's so many serious places up here, and at the same time, it's a little bit sensitive subject, but there are so many players in the league right now. There are good ones. There are the little bit, the more simple ones, and it's overpopulated for sure, which is a very normal phenomenon, I think, after the new business have been introduced into this country. But yeah, I think one of those one of those, the dispensary that we just talked about, I think they're definitely going to survive and remain there for sure, because they have a very good fan base, and they're always working on their communities. But at the same time, we're expecting a lot of, the other dispensary who are a little bit lacking, will eventually gonna have to die out soon, which is very unfortunate to, watch. But I think that's how everything will shift from this point. Yeah, there are a lot of dispensaries here, man. I don't know how long you haven't been here. I don't know how long you haven't been back here for, but new business opening every single day I see on the street. It's almost crazy and scary.
Oh yeah, totally. When I was last over, it was October last year, and just even then, something I'm not going to say everywhere there was, but in certain places, especially like Asok or Tonglo or kind of Ekamai way, around that area, the amount of new shops that I just saw open within 2 weeks of being there was kind of incredible, and it makes me wonder how many of them are now closed, or like it was kind of fascinating to see, because I've never seen a new market build in person, and just everyone wanted a slice of the pie, and I think oversaturation is kind of a problem.
Absolutely.
Like, I completely
that's why I believe we're in the middle of the history, and we're in the middle of the transition, and this is very interesting thing, and then we're very happy that we're witnessing this, living this historical moment in Thailand.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a history buff. I love history, so this kind of happened like something that's my interest, and watching it like unfold like you would like an early 1920s novel about the market crashing or something, or how like automobiles started changing the world. It's kind of like that, and you're watching it happen in real time with different businesses opening, people working out their brand, competing. Then it's really fascinating.
It is. It's beautiful, but at the same time, a little bit anxious about the current regulation and current ongoing, the plannings, whatever the government and the authority are thinking about, and whatever the mass media are thinking about this industry and the direction of this industry is moving. And it's very interesting. It's nothing that we can expect more than the current situation right now, but hopefully we get some better regulation and safer communities are safely provided by the government. I think it's gonna be so much better than what it is right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I get kind of 50-50 about the situation. I love Thailand. I love everything that's been going on. I kind of very glad that there's now a Democratic Party actually voted in. But at the same time, I do worry because, again, it's still politics. It's still Thai politics. And I just hope that, in my opinion, the cat's kind of out the bag, so we can't go all the way back now. So I at least hope that that's what the government realizes as well. And it's just, soft regulation. Like, I don't feel like anything needs to be overturned because, again, like what I tell people is imagining a government then going completely back on all of this. So that's instantly 5,000 businesses that are now technically illegal. That's hundreds of thousands of people that are now technically criminals for consuming. All those prisoners would have to go back in. Literally millions to, I'm going to say for the future, billions of baht will be lost. And I'm just like, does a government really want to risk that? Because I don't think they do.
We don't think so either. In addition to that, they already took a very big historical step forward. So I don't think it's a smart idea to take a step back, and they're going to have to deal with so many more of the messy things that you just mentioned, like all those like the so-called quote-unquote criminals. Like you have to deal with all those people because you have to send them all back to the prison, and people who served in prison. Now it's pretty disrespectful for them because now everything is legalized, and now they're illegalize it. Then like it's gonna cause a mass confusion for sure. What we're what we're hoping is not the illegalization of weed again, all over again, and just sending all these hundreds of thousands of people, make them to lose business. But what we want is like regulations, a proper regulation and proper education and proper conception that people can get about cannabis and all the cannabis and the byproducts of cannabis. So if they can manage to pull that off, then it's gonna be a really healthy the market. Because currently we're not with this ongoing regulation. I think we're doing very well. There are many people trying to follow the regulation. There are many people who are trying to have this in a long term. There are many people who are following the regulation that the government said already because they're afraid that they're gonna end up losing their business, and then like all those people, they're anxious about these kind of uncertainties, and I wish it gets sorted out as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the limbo that we're kind of in. We're just waiting to see what they say. And I agree with everything you say. I think, it's too complicated to go back, but like some regulations in a way are good. I mean, I've advocated in a way there needs to be a little bit of like a seed to sale system for, again, I know that's hard for the more local grower and stuff, but I'm hoping again it's not going to go like America where they slice out the more less economically wealthy people to not be able to do it. I kind of hope it still remains fair, but then I also do hope that there is, for health reasons and for just regulations, that there's something implemented in some sense, because then with that we can move forward and then we can kind of prove things, and then maybe we finally get better outlines of stuff like extracts, which again will be a completely booming market that's kind of not completely tapped yet.
Couple days ago, we've been to this dispensary called Pop Dispensary. They recently just opened up their second location. They're very, very friendly and humble group of people. It runs by 4 friends from a high school, I believe. And one of the business partner, Mr. Taiwei, shout out to Mr. Taiwei. We had a good conversation with him, and he's more for himself as well. And then he told us that he's not afraid to share all of his insights / like growing methods to the public because he's so this pie to grow and more people get into this business and more people start grow their own weed and make the competition and make the pie bigger, grow the pie, so the government is it's gonna be more difficult for the government to shut down if they're trying to shut down anything regarding the cannabis industry. So he's just giving out all his secret formula for free out in public. And after I spoke with this guy, I couldn't help to not think of Elon Musk when he first came out with the electronic vehicle, and he just revealed all this engineering recipes and stuff like that out in public, so he can grow the electronic car market pool. And that's exactly what Mr. Taiwei is doing, and I think it's just brilliant. And I love how people are trying to just like help each other and grow this pie, and just growing the pie itself would give more opportunity for those people, like the people like us. So I'm very happy about these kind of movements happening in Thailand. It's not like free for all. It's just like we all team up and try to create this market and try to create this scene together. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, we saw some humanity.
100%. I mean, it makes me think of, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the movie Planet of the Apes, where he has like one stick and he goes, ape alone weak, and it snaps, and then he puts a bunch of sticks together. He's like, apes together strong, and it doesn't snap. And that's kind of my mentality is, yeah, if we all do come together and not just be these individual entities, it's way harder for the government, you said, but then two, it just creates the pie way bigger than, people first anticipate.
Right.
And okay, so we spoke about politics, but I kind of want to put it on a light note for the end side, because I want to ask one thing is what have you guys been smoking lately that you think is outstanding?
Or you can go ahead. Well, what have you been smoking? 1.5 kilograms of what?
What we got from Tropicana last time. No, I mean Pop. Mint, not sure on that, but it's the Sadhua with
it's sativa.
32% of THC.
It was a high THC, yeah. And you don't remember the name of the strain, right?
Sorry about that.
God damn.
Because we got many strain.
Yeah, we try to try every single different strains in Thailand. Yeah, that's why it gets confusing a little bit. But your go-to strain is sativa.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it hit me easier than that other strain.
I see.
I can tell that. Yeah, and the terpene is really potent of the weed, and
you gotta come up with this name. I think everybody's curious about this name.
Sorry about that.
No, it's so good.
Watch just thinking about it.
It's a long name, Mint something.
Mint? I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
My favorite that I recently smoked was the this grower named Anonymous Grower. Shout out to Anonymous Grower. This French guy.
We talk about this many times because you like it.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. Yeah, he brought in some seeds of the what do you call it? The frosted onion strain, and then he claims that it's very popular strain in Europe, like in Spain and stuff like that. The frosted onion, and that it was one of the best. It contains one of the best characteristics. Like it has a very distinct terpene that I cannot even describe, but I can kind of see why they call it an onion, because it kind of does have that spice, that popping spiciness into it when you just smell it with your nose. And then when you smoke it, it's just so smooth. And then he even made some bubble hash using those the frosted onion strain. And then his hash was one of the best hash I've ever had. And it just smokes very smoothly. It's very sticky, and it contains 100% of its terpene profile. And it was awesome. It was so frosty outside. All the trichome was covering it. So yeah, if anybody's listening to this and you want to smoke something new, something special, yeah, go to Anonymous Farmer and tell them Anonymous Grower, and then tell them about some the frosted onion. Yeah, it was a very nice experience. Did you come up with? No? Alright, so she doesn't have the name.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Like, there was one moment when I was over in Bangkok and I got back to my hotel and I just had bags of samples of stuff, and I was like, I guess I've got to work out what this is.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like wherever we go, we get a lot of. I mean, we're not trying to like be an ass about it, but you know, we get a lot of free stuff, you know, here and there wherever we visit. You know, it's a great thing. Like we get recognized. People recognize our the IG and community and stuff, and they don't recognize us, of course. But whenever we mention about our the little community, they're like, "Oh, it's Weed University. Oh, let me hook you up with like gram or two," and then they give us like dispensaries and businesses and farmers, they all hook us up with very, very good stuff all the time. So it was a little bit difficult for us to distinguish every single type of weed. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feelings. Like, again, I can remember being given the weed. I remember being told. I remember the person, but do I remember the name? Why do I always forget the goddamn name? Like, I think I should start to carry around a pen with me, and just anytime anyone gives me a sample, just either write it on my hand or on the bag.
Exactly, especially when you're high, it's really hard to memorize every single names and stuff. And then, you know, I remember people by their face as well, but whenever I meet them for the second or third time, I'm like, oh, what was their name? Boar, what was their name? And then Boar's like, I don't fucking know. I'm like, oh shit.
100 already, maybe.
Past 3-4 months of our life, we met so many amazing people to the point that we cannot remember like all of their names. It's crazy.
It was same for me in Bangkok. I only had 2 weeks, and the amount of people I met and the amount of places I went, some of it I can't even remember because it was so much, and people don't like believe me when I was like, oh yeah, I probably visited like 25 different places within those 2 weeks, and I was like,
oh, okay, you did your research.
Oh god, I had some American friends come over that I was kind of tour guiding some of the temples to as well, and I just had to bounce off like every couple of hours, and they're like, where are you going? And I'm just like, you wouldn't understand, I'm busy.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening to us. And then you know, we're both full-time workers as well. We work at corporates, and then we're doing this as like a little side hustle / like enthusiasm. So so far we're happy doing this.
I mean, you guys are doing it amazingly. Like, I always look forward to every like the little video you post, because again, I love that you guys have actual edited videos and stuff. Because some people, they kind of like just go live and then publish a live, and I'm like, I can't watch 13 minutes of you wandering around first. But there's besides from my gripe,
Yeah,
you know.
we try to have a point.
Yeah, you do it really well, and like, again, I have to admit, like, a lot of like my lists of places I'm going to visit next have came from a lot of your recommendations, so.
Nice. We're so happy. We cannot be more happier than this. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, I think, like, anytime people ask me, like, oh, I'm coming over to Thailand, like, oh, where do you recommend, instead of, like, directly recommending a dispensary, I'm just like, listen, just follow Hi Thailand, follow Weed University, follow Cannabis, those are your free, like, go-to best sources to just working all this out, trust me.
Cannabis is going crazy. They're stepping up their game so much. They have so many collaboration, and they have so many upcoming collaboration, and all those database that they have built in their website. Whoo! They're the true startup, the cannabis startup in Thailand. Shout out again.
Oh, definitely. Like, I've seen some behind the scenes stuff, and like, I was like, damn, I need to upgrade my camera equipment. These guys, I need to bring more stuff over.
Yeah, these guys, like, they got some serious equipment. Like, they got gimbal and they got camera, you know. But we university, we only use iPhone 14 plus. That's what we do.
The latest
Yeah,
version.
it's the latest version. Yeah, we upgraded our phones dedicated to the community. Yeah,
I've done the exact same thing, so.
exactly. Sometimes all you need is a little mobile phone, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes, you know, I mean, it's actually incredible what you can do with a phone now. Like, I pretty much, like, aside from recording, have running a podcast just off my phone, and so that's an interesting experience.
Nice. Yeah. Technology with cannabis. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will challenge with technology, adapting technologies into cannabis, and then there are a lot of people already started it in Thailand as well. They're first movers, so we're very happy to see like how this thing taking another step forward, you know, into the serious business and market. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's been interesting, like, again, with the technological side of cannabis in Thailand. Like, I know people who've started their own kind of, like, they're working out, making their own, like, dry vapes. I know people that are really getting into the science of it, and, like, there's, like, the Prem Previ Cup coming up. I know they're doing, like, actual, like, testing the cannabinoids and stuff of strains, and to see that happen really quickly for Thailand was really cool to see, because even in, like, some areas of America, they don't fully test exactly the way that, like, I've seen some places in Thailand do, and that's amazing.
Definitely. It's funny because we just happened to hear yesterday that some group of people are actually, teaming up with Chulalongkorn University.
Yeah.
And then they're, testing the products. I don't know what kind of test they're going through, but they are joining up and, they're teaming up and doing something together with the Chulalongkorn University. So it was really interesting for us to dig, deeper into what's going on with this academic facility and the cannabis industry, what we can do and what are the possibilities and all. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's, again, like, one thing that people don't think of fully when they think of the cannabis industry is, like, yeah, there's going to be, like, the growing and sale of flower. That's kind of the baseline, but there's so many different aspects in this industry, going from the creative side to the scientific side. And I think as well, with, like, how scientifically, especially medically orientated Thailand is, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to come out with different studies, different research into cannabis. You know, Thailand is very, very, I'm not going to say advanced, but very hardworking medical. So not even just the kind of growing and sale and cannabis culture there. It's going to be really cool to see what does come out with the medical and science side.
Absolutely. People in Thailand should be very proud of themselves about the fact that Thailand currently has the number, almost the top leading the research about the medical cannabis, especially the CBD, the plants and their strains, and they're making so many products using those kind of medical the strains, and we're literally leading in this world in this the business category, and we're. I heard they're expanding to Japan about the CBD drinks and CBD, the medicines, and we met some of the farmers. They strictly grow the medical purpose marijuana. They have a medical license and all, and seeing that side of the business expanding and growing and, you know, creating another pie for people to share, and it's just very beneficial for everyone, not only for the sellers, not only for the farmers, but for the consumer and the medical patients and people, even people like us. It's going to be really beneficial for us to put a agenda of cannabis usage in this direction in Thailand. This is very smart move, and this is very important move at the same time, and we strongly support it.
Most definitely. It's overall incredibly exciting times. Like, I've said it a lot, but I just am excited to come back and just see how things have even got even more further. Like, I love, like, listening to it from people, but I just can't wait to experience it again and see how much, especially how different the north is from Bangkok. If people don't know, I'll be going to Chiang Mai. But yeah, like, I'm so excited to come back. And I just wanted to say thank you again, both of you coming on the podcast. And just kind of like the last roundup question would be that I kind of give to everyone is, what do you want people to know about cannabis that you don't, cannabis in Thailand that you don't think everyone knows?
If I would tell you, what do we want to share with the regular people, right? The people in Thailand about the cannabis?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just like alcohol and cigarette. I think it's similarity is more towards the alcohol, the products in Thailand. I think it's very personal. Just like those, the crafted cocktails and crafted beer. It's very personal. It really depending on like your current mood and current situation, and many different cannabis strain can give you many different kinds of effects, caused by the terpene profile that they have. So there are a lot of interesting aspects. Not only you're smoking these green plants and get high and do some stupid things, just like as you see on the movies and things like that and the media, but try to make it more personal. Find the right person to guide you through your medication and guide you through the proper usage guide you through the proper tools and the methods of consuming your cannabis product. If you can be able to meet somebody who can guide you through all this kind of stuff and make it as personal, make sure you're in your safe zone and your safe mental state, then it will only enhances you to go through all these stressful life, and it can be a little getaway activities for you on the weekend. So I understand why people are having a negative conception towards marijuana and cannabis and its byproducts, etc., but if you actually sit down and give yourself 5 minutes to maybe get to know a little more about what can happen from consuming marijuana products, then you can have a very safe and healthy cannabis consuming exercise from that aspect. So I just want to tell people to get to know more about what's going on.
Most definitely, man. And I think that was probably one of the best answers I've had to that question. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah. And Bo, do you have any comments to tell people about weed? Your perception of weed, or your message to people about weed?
I think it's not that bad, right? We can use in the positive way to release your stress sometime, or some people use indica to help them to sleep well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and deeply. So we have many benefits that we can use from marijuana or cannabis, even CBD. Yeah, we have many forms of product that we can use. People that doesn't smoke, they can eat the edibles, or maybe they can use the syrup, the oil, or even the web is easy to use.
Vaping is easier, better method.
Yeah,
Sure
many. So I think there need more education on this. That not only the negative side of using marijuana. Yeah.
Nice. You just came back from bathroom, but you have a similar answer with me.
Oh, we have the same perspective.
She's psychic secretly.
Yeah, she knows what's going on. She just doesn't like to speak a lot.
No, but again, both beautiful answers, guys. And thank you on the podcast. I'm going to link your Instagram and everything. But yeah, thank you so much.
This is awesome. We had a wonderful Sunday afternoon spending with you.
Thanks a lot, man. And I'm looking forward to hopefully soon seeing you guys in the real world.
Bangkok, yes. Let's have a session in Bangkok for sure. We will smoke you up for sure.
I look forward to it, and I'll take you up to that challenge. We can do the research of who smokes the most.
Absolutely, we're definitely gonna do the competition on who gets OD'd first from a weed.
I won't publicly advertise that competition, but
yeah, I mean that's pretty against what we want, what we're trying to create. safe and healthy service consumption. It's a bit extreme.
Yeah, anyone listening, take it in jest.
Absolutely. Yeah, free for all. Do it at your own risk.
100%. But yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I know you've got a few more hours ahead of you, but yeah, thank you again.
Thank you so much for your time and your hospitality, and we've enjoyed show so much, and we'll definitely follow up and share and like and subscribe on whatever you're doing, and let's catch up next time, man.
100%, man. Thank you again, and yeah, I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your day now. Thank you
So much.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.